You mentioned about showing up and looking at the flyers, and it will be nice to zoom in a little bit more on that aspect of it, because one of the challenges that moms have is like they don't get to go out much. Uh, and this is something we want to encourage no matter where you are. Find your meetups in your city, go and network with people in the companies, even if it is virtual network through LinkedIn. And also, can you emphasize that a little bit and how it has changed your career transitions and all?
Absolutely, Rena. And I have to say this for everyone in the room. There are many things that are not convenient, right? However, if you are committing to trying something new or to going in a new direction or returning to something that is no longer the same as when you left it, you do have to put aside some time for these things that you wouldn't normally do. And so I would say, number one, challenging yourself or encouraging, celebrating your journey by putting on your calendar once a week a 2 hour time period where you're going to go to something, whether it's virtual or in person. Doesn't mean you need to be there all day or all night. Like, I have a time in my mind when I'm leaving and I leave, but I'm there for a good hour and I make the connections that are right for me, So I will say early on when I was a teacher, I wasn't trying to transition anywhere. I loved what I was doing. I wasn't trying to go anywhere. I just thought I've been teaching since I was 20 and I keep telling these kids they need this for college or a job, but I've never had another job and I haven't been in
Mhm.
college for a while. So maybe I better go out there and make sure what I'm doing is right. And it became such a bigger thing. Like I look back and the pathway is clear. When I was in it, I was just following the next logical step. I was at UC Berkeley campus, so excited to be there for this thing that I found from talking to a colleague that mentioned something. And so I looked it up online, applied, and now I'm on campus. I've got 5 years of funding after school for teacher development, unheard of in education, 5 years of funding to do work on myself. And I thought, well, I'm on this campus. It's fancy. It's one of the top ones in our country and beyond. I'm going to look at every flyer and I'm going to pick something to go to. My little one was small, but 2 hours once a week, or even at that point, it wasn't even once a week. It was like maybe once a month. But since I was in this program, I made sure to make connections with the people on campus that I was getting to interact with. And that led to the next thing that I wouldn't have found on my own because I saw a flyer. It said something like Math for America. I don't teach math anymore, but I asked about it and suddenly it turns out it's not Math for America, it's Math and Science. And it's another grant. That means I get to do educational research with the dean at UC Berkeley. If I hadn't asked, I wouldn't have gone forward. And that led to the next thing. So even now, I would say that I'm in ed tech. It is incredibly important to put time on my schedule to go meet people. I went to something this week on Wednesday, and I thought, I signed up for it. I actually got invited to go. It was definitely an exciting event, small. The people there would be some folks that I know we could be important to each other. But it was like a bit of a drive, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go. But I'm glad that I went. I literally went. I only stayed an hour, so I think I drove as long as I was there. But the person that I met there, we're meeting on Monday, and it looks like we're going to be able to move forward with a project that I've been trying to move forward for literally 2 years. So I'm not saying every event is like that, but there's a whole science behind when people see you places, even if you don't stay long, even if it's not every day, but if you're going once every 2 weeks or once every 4 weeks, people remember, and that gives you some status about, they keep showing up. That's the number one thing I would say that I've seen both in my education career. I didn't mention I have a science degree and an ed degree, but I also wound up getting an art degree sort of later. And part of the reason for that was not I was trying to get an art degree. I went to this one training and then decided I liked what I saw, but I wasn't going to sign up for classes. I didn't have the money for that at the time, but I kept
Mhm.
going to any free events. And what do you know? Somebody, the director of the county level program was like, you, literally like this.
Mhm.
I'm what? What means she's like, you keep coming here. Who are you? And that's next thing I know, she's pulling me into an apprenticeship program. Then I become senior faculty. They fund me to get another master's degree, which led to changes in my classroom, which led to me getting recruited at Cal as a professor. That is crazy. I mean, that's like nothing that makes sense except for showing up matters. So I would say it doesn't mean you have to do it every week for the rest of your life, but particularly when you're making a change or you have a particular goal in mind, people need to know that you are trying to make a move, that you're aware of the current kind of scene. And so, like I said, make it small, make it memorable, but consistency is important, even if it's short term.